Why don't we give away any cynical fouls anymore? Why don't we get players like interrupting the flow of teams running through us? You look at the best teams, like you look at the Man City's not at the moment, obviously, but the Man Uniteds of old, the Liverpool, even Liverpool now, like they'll go around the team, different players around the team will pick up a booking, they'll interrupt the flow, they'll pull someone back when they're running through on goal. They'll make a bad change and then look at the ref as if to say they've not done anything. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we showing that nasty side of our game that just kills a game, just stops players from building any momentum? When was the last time John McGinn got a yellow card for pulling someone back, or Yuri Tielemans or someone like that? Just go around the team and interrupt their flow. I'm not saying go out and injure players, but Gibbs White was getting on the ball too much. Someone go in and put a bad challenge on him. Someone pull him back. Someone get in on Elliot and Anderson and push him over or do something to interrupt the flow. Start being a bit nasty. It's like we're just too easy to play against and too easy to run through, and no one's picking up bookings. We should have had like 5, 6, 7, 8 bookings yesterday because when we went 1-0 up, we should be putting the game to bed, putting in clever fouls, cynical fouls, and just completely killing the game. And we just rolled over basically.
I just think that Aston Villa, in all the years I've supported them and all the years other people may have supported them as well, obviously going back generation, I think we're perceived as a nice football club. Like, there's never been a game where I've seen Aston Villa being nasty, not in a negative nasty way, but in a positive nasty way of, disrupting teams' momentum, disrupting, other teams of how they play in terms of possession, and we just do one little foul here in an area on the halfway line just to stop them from getting to us and getting back into shape, or making a foul that's, stopping a counter-attack, which is something we've been punished for this season, of course. Not drawing a foul and not just making it like a slide tackle, anything at all, just to stop any sort of counter-attack or any way to run through us. And I think that's been a big downfall for Aston Villa, that we're perceived. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to be perceived as a nice football club, but sometimes you've got to put your niceness out the way and say, look, lads, we need to be a little bit more nasty. We need to be a little bit more cynical in what way we do our fouls. If you have to get a yellow card, so what? Get the yellow card. It'll stop them from playing against us. Nice teams get ran through so easily. Nice teams are so easy to play against. But when you're a nasty football team, again, in a positive manner, where you can draw these cynical fouls, all the other teams are going to go, tough place to go to. We can't get through them. We can't do this because they do things in the right area. And that's something that has really bothered me as an Aston Villa fan, and of course many other Aston Villa fans as well, and like you there as well, Rich. We just need to be a bit more clever when we don't have possession.
Yeah, it's streetwise, isn't it? And I mean, I know James is sort of saying, a bit more, wanting to have a bit more kind of a philosophical look at it. We're sixth in the league and lose a game of football. Yeah, I appreciate that, but in the isolation of this game, to be 1-0 up with 5 minutes to go and then you lose, then that is ridiculous. That is not a team that is challenging for top 6. Yes, I know Man City have done that today against Man United, but they will be having the same post-mortem of how that happens. You can't be 1-0 up away from home and lose the game with 5 minutes to go. And in terms of the tactical fouls, people saying, we don't do it, we're too nice. It's right. And I just don't understand, why we're not doing it. You think of like Eddie, the game that sticks out to me is Eddie Howe's teams when they come to Villa Park, whether it was Bournemouth or whether it's Newcastle. They always out battle us physically, interrupt our rhythm, interrupt our flow, and take advantage. And if you look at, I remember Bournemouth beat us 2-1 or something when we came up in the first season we came up, and about 5 or 6 of their players got bookings. And Philip Billing must have had about 6 fouls across the game, only ended up getting 1 yellow card after like the 6th foul, when really probably could have had 2. But they just stopped us from getting any flow in the game. And that's how Eddie Howe beats Villa all the time. They just swarm us, put bad challenges on us, put cynical tackles, and just pass the bookings around the team. And then lo and behold, they end up beating us. We don't do that to any teams. And I just think that's an element of being that top level side that you have to get to be able to win ugly and win in a way that is, showing that you're dominating a team physically, not just with footballing ability.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like if you look at all the big teams of old, your Chelsea's, Man United's, Man City's, Liverpool, even Arsenal, they won games when you had to get ugly, and they were clever about it. And obviously, with the quality of players that they had, they could do that moment of magic to play that football for 2 minutes, and you get a goal out of it. With Villa at this minute, I don't think we really have a player that's so physical and with a presence of it's going to be a hard day in the office to play against him. I don't think we have that. Of course, you've got Boubacar Kamara, who is great on the ball. He's a great tackler, but even at times he kind of gets out muscled by teams with such big physicality.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like even he does, and that's something that you have to point at, because I know a lot of people would not put certain players under criticism, but you have to put every single player under criticism at times, Kamara included. And Pau Torres as well is another one. His strength is not really up there, and he's a centre back. And you look at the size of Carlos, he's even getting out most of the times. Look at Liam Delap for Ipswich, absolutely bullied him and got 2 goals out of it. So it just goes to show that we kind of need some players that are nasty type, physical, and just being smart in the right areas of the pitch where they don't get sent off. And it's one of them players that you love to have, but then you hate to play against.
Yeah.